does that excite everybody? I'm sure there are people here who sell alcohol and use it and make it. So I mean,
You used to?
I did. Yeah. So, no. I'm not saying that you don't have a choice. I'm saying why don't we educate ourselves to the same level you have? Well, there are a lot of people here who don't obviously have your will to understand what you're doing. There are a lot of people who don't. And you continue to argue the toss. If Jim says something about cannabis, now, if we all sat here in a panel and said, alcohol is dangerous, kids shouldn't use it when you're pregnant, you know, if you're alcoholic, you should have it, yeah, we'd all agree. The moment we say, some people, like about 10% are adversely affected, another 20% have problems with it. None of you in this room know someone who's adversely affected by cannabis.
Be honest, show a hand.
Show a hand if you know someone who's adversely affected by cannabis.
It's a point. Show a hand. Put your hands up if you ever had been adversely affected by alcohol.
Exactly.
Who's been around the corner?
Right.
Who's got mates? Who's threw the guns out?
There's actually not a hell of a lot of difference, actually.
Please, go ahead, Denny.
Can I come back to a couple of points made, I think, one by another speaker, one by the Associate Minister. And now, at the risk of being downgraded from my D- to an E, my point. No, of course not. I shall refrain from any ad hominem reply. But this is my question to the Minister, and it's a fair one. We have a restricted substances regime. For the first time we created an alternative to prohibition, a regulatory model. Now, let's put aside BZP. Forget about it, because the deal has been done. There's nothing in that schedule at the moment. BZP was the first and only restricted substance. In August 2007, the Expert Advisory Commission on Drugs, as I said earlier, recommended that salvia divinorum be included as a restricted substance. Interestingly, their main reason, or one of their main reasons for saying so, if I may quote, is that after careful consideration, they agreed that salvia has the potential to cause harm, but stopped short of recommending that it join BZP as a Class C1 controlled drug out of concern for the significant resource implications to the police. Not that BZP will cause the police any problems at all. My question is this, in two parts. Is the Ministry of Health ever going to develop any regulations for restricted substances? And is the Minister going to recommend to Cabinet that, as he himself has said, this expert body of qualified clinicians and other specialists, having recommended that salvia be a restricted substance, are you going to restrict it, Minister, and how long after that are you going to ban it?
Well, of course, I've made it very clear that the role of the EACD is to advise the government's drug policy, and we accept that advice. I have accepted every piece of advice they've given because they are the professionals in this, and I want this separated out from the politics, and I resent the idea that this is somehow some kind of big push from me or anyone else for political recognition or whatever. It's just rubbish.
You have to take it to Cabinet.
It is just rubbish that because I have conservative electorates, as Nandor said, and all the rest of it, will be pushing this. I don't need to, Nandor. I've got the Guinness Book of Records. I've represented 5 political parties in my electorate. I've won the seat every time. I've increased my majority. I don't need to bloody well push BZP or anything else. There must be something else I'm doing right in the electorate. So the reality is that if the EACD, as they have in this case, has recommended a drug for the restricted list, the D classification, that's what I'll recommend to Cabinet.
Of course. But when will the regulations be developed for the restricted substances model?
As soon as the Ministry of Health can do it, of course.
It's been there since 2005.
It'll be done.
I think we're heading towards a 9 o'clock finish, which, sorry, Kofi. Yep, cool.
I just wanted to make, I was kind of reflecting on the conversation that's been going on, because we've kind of lapsed back into this highly polarised discussion that we so often do with these things. And partly, there's a major difference in worldview, front line as well, who look at it from the point of view of the problems it causes. And I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that cannabis causes some people real problems. And actually, despite the kind of assumption that everyone here is in an uproar at any suggestion, I suspect that most people here would also agree that cannabis causes some people real harm. But I guess the objection is, people don't want to see policy developed on the basis of only those people who cause harm. Because for many people here, those who use cannabis, the experience is that it is a positive. And as the woman here, and I think it was a very courageous thing to stand up and make that admission in a public place, given that you could be liable to go to prison for making that statement. You know, so I commend you for that. And if I look at my own life, actually, cannabis is a good thing for me. In fact, to be honest, I smoke cannabis so rarely, I think I would probably be in a better position if I used it a bit more than I did. and that's a reality, because actually for many people, people don't use it because, you know, for some weird reason. People use it because they get benefits from it, like they do all kinds of other drugs. And you know, so to me, this is the point. I think we need to move beyond this polarity and start to say, how do we develop policy which does recognise the harms and does try to address them, but doesn't make all the people here who use cannabis criminals because some young kid bought a bit of cannabis off a dealer and had a problem with it. That's really the thing. We need to start to get a better synthesis in the discussion, because otherwise we're just going nowhere.
We've run out of time pretty much. I would like to, on everyone's behalf, express genuine thanks to everyone who's come here tonight, because, quite frankly, they didn't need to. Half the people here, or a few of the people here, knew they'd get a damn roasting, whichever way it happened. I thank you for asking sensible questions and listening. And maybe from here we go away and we talk some more, I don't know, because in the end, it's you guys who make the rules in a strange way. You have the power. But the important thing is, I think perhaps, is that we have listened. We haven't yelled at each other. And listening is a starting point, whatever you do.
And let's also thank John, because he didn't have to be here either, and he's not really getting anything out of this except...
Oh, I'm not. My reputation is shot.
And again, I want to personally thank every one of the participants here. It really shows, regardless of how you may disagree with their particular views, it shows that they do care more than a lot of the people in this world. Everybody here in the audience and everybody here on the panel actually cares about these issues. There's a lot of people out there, they don't think about it, they don't give a stuff. And that's the people that we need to work on. So even if we haven't come to consensus here, and I don't know how we ever could, I think we can all agree that we need to get everybody interested in this issue, especially now that it's an election year. So keep that in mind, and if you'd like to see more of these events happening, you can make a donation to the organizers.